Hey, it's Josh from Josh LM Finance. Let me tell you, I remember the first time I tried to make a budget. I had this fancy spreadsheet, filled it with all these huge financial goals, and I think I ignored it after, 3 days? If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're not just creating a budget that's a chore, we're building one you'll actually want to stick with. So, let's get into it.
And this right here, this is the absolute truth. If you've failed at budgeting before, I want you to hear me on this. It is not because you're bad with money. It's because the plan you were given was probably unrealistic from the start. Most budgets you find online are these one-size-fits-all things that have zero idea what your actual life looks like. Honestly, they're built to fail. We're going to change that right now. All right, so first things first, we have to completely change the way we think about what a budget is. It is not a financial diet designed to make you miserable. It's not about restriction. It's about control. Think of it more like a powerful tool that gives you total authority over your own money.
In this simple idea, right here, this changes everything. At its heart, a budget is just a plan. You are proactively telling your money where it needs to go, instead of reactively looking at your bank account and wondering where it all went. You become the boss of your money, not the other way around.
And when you have that plan, these are the results. You get real, actual control over your cash flow. You finally stop that exhausting cycle of spending more than you earn. You can save with intention for the things you really want. I remember the first time I saved up for a vacation without feeling guilty about every little purchase. Man, that's the kind of freedom we are talking about. This is the why behind all of it.
So, how do we actually get there? Well, I'm going to break it down into a super simple 6-step plan. This is the roadmap that's going to take you from feeling that financial chaos to having absolute clarity. No complicated jargon, no confusing spreadsheets, just 6 straight-up steps. And here they are. We're going to start by figuring out what's really coming in, then we'll get an honest look at where it's all going. After that, we'll categorize it, set some real goals, build the actual plan, and finally, the most important part, we'll learn how to keep it alive by reviewing and adjusting. Let's jump into step 1. So the most crucial place to start is with your net income. That's the amount that actually lands in your bank account after taxes, after all the deductions. It's your take-home pay. This includes your salary, any side hustles, anything. Now, if your income changes month to month, you need to average it out over the last 3, maybe 6 months. No optimism allowed here. We're dealing with reality, and reality only.
This next step, this is where the truth comes out. Before you can make a plan for your money, you've got to know where it's currently going. So, for 1 full month, you're going to track everything. And I mean everything. Bank statements, card alerts, every bit of cash you spend. You might think the big problem is that one expensive thing you bought, but the real secrets are almost always hiding in the small, daily spending. That daily 1,500 Naira coffee, that's 45,000 Naira a month. That's a real number. That's the aha moment right there.
Okay, on to step 3. And this is where we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. We need to categorize all those expenses. Needs are for survival. Your rent, your basic groceries, utilities. Wants are for enjoyment. And look, if you have Netflix, Spotify, DSTV, and YouTube Premium all sitting under your needs column, we might need to have a little talk. Be honest here. It is the only way this whole thing actually works.
Budgeting without a goal is just punishment. It's pointless. You need a reason, a why to do this. This slide perfectly shows the difference between a wish and an actual plan. Save money is not a goal, but save 200,000 Naira in 6 months for an emergency fund, now that is a goal. It's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. A smart goal.
Okay, step 5. Time to build the actual budget. A really great starting point is the 50-30-20 rule. That's 50% of your income on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% towards savings or paying off debt. But let me be crystal clear here. This is a guideline. It is not a commandment handed down from the financial heavens. Your reality might be 70-10-20, and that's totally fine. You adjust this based on your life, not someone else's idea of it. Finally, the last step, and this is all about making this thing last. You have to review your budget regularly. I'd say weekly when you first start. And you need to use a tool you won't get sick of. The best system is the one you will actually use. It doesn't matter if it's a fancy app or just a pen and a notebook. Consistency is what really matters here, because a good budget has to be flexible. Life happens. So we've built the budget. That's awesome. But let's be real, the hardest part is sticking with it. So let's talk about the common traps and how to avoid that urge to just quit when things get a little tough or some unexpected expense just blows up your perfect plan. Here they are, the top 3 killers of budgets and their simple fixes.
If you keep forgetting to track, just automate spending alerts from your bank. If unexpected expenses keep popping up, that's exactly what an emergency fund is for. And if you start feeling burned out and restricted, you need to simplify. You don't need 50 different categories. More importantly, build in some fun money. This isn't a weakness, it's a strategy. A budget with zero room for enjoyment is just unsustainable. It's like a pressure cooker that's guaranteed to explode. Giving yourself permission to spend guilt-free on things you love is what keeps you in the game for the long run.
All right, let's bring this all home. I want to end by really focusing on the ultimate purpose of what we're doing here, because it's so easy to get lost in the numbers and forget the big picture.
This right here is the most important takeaway from this entire explainer. Say it with me. Budgeting is not restriction, it is control. It is giving yourself clarity over your financial life, and it's about the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a plan. That is the real prize.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have the framework, what is the #1 expense you are most excited to finally get under control? Drop it in the comments below. I'd genuinely love to see what you're all working towards.
If this helped you, subscribe to Josh LM Finance. This channel is building a growing library of clear, step-by-step money explainers you can always come back to. And please share this with someone who needs this breakdown. We keep it simple, we keep it practical, and we build wealth the boring way. Thanks for watching.